I want to talk today on this video about exit strategies. I have entered many partnerships throughout my lifetime, a lot of dealership partnerships. But in any partnership, one thing that you must talk about first is the exit strategies. And it's one of the first things that I always bring up when I enter into a relationship, how I'm going to get out of that relationship. Now, this past month or so, I've dissolved some relationships amicably with a couple of dealers, and I'm very proud to say these people are still friends. I don't look to communicate with them in the future, but I do wish them the best of luck, and I hope they wish me the same. But an exit strategy is very a legal part of entering into agreement. You should never enter into a contract or any sort of verbal agreement or anything like that without having an exit strategy involved. And I can give you an example. I've got a dealership right down the road here that I'm not involved in. It's another dealership. And there's two people involved in that dealership. And unfortunately, theirs sets a prime location and about 100 cars that those two people are deadlocked. Neither one of them will give in, so they need to dig two graves because they're about to destroy each other, because obviously they did not have an exit strategy. Now, a lot of you, and I see a lot of you, that have a partner, that you're entering into a partnership agreement with somebody using their licenses or whatever. Now, all of you know of Randy at Auction Rebuilds, the YouTube channel, and I'm going to point out his particular case here because I don't know any details, and so Randy just entered an agreement with a car dealer to use this car dealer's license to work through this car dealer. Now, Randy is about to get into a shared equity situation. Now, what a shared equity is Weird Beard has the license, the permit, and everything's already started. But I'm sure that Randy is going to be buying and selling cars using some of his own money. Therefore, he's going to be having shared equity in these cars. And so therefore, in that contract, and I don't know, but I do hope that there's a contract between the two that discusses the shared equity. I know that Randy pointed out in his video that all vehicles would belong to Weird Beard. And that is the case. All of them will be, but Randy will be entitled to have shared equity in those vehicles. And he needs to hopefully make sure that he will acquire his shared equity and make sure there's a contract between the two, and the contract is signed on every car that Randy purchases through Weird Beard. Now, I'm sure you all are like me. You hope everything works out and they have a long-term relationship. And I wish them both the best. But Randy is sort of at a disadvantage here because Weird Beard will be holding all the cards unless Randy has a shared equity agreement with Weird Beard. So I'm hoping that he does, and this is not pinpointed to just Randy, but whenever you're involved in a consignment situation with another dealer, and I know of dealers out here, and you all know them, that really thrive on their consignment of other cars. you never want to enter into an agreement with any car dealer, principal car dealer, whatever. They're just human beings and very honorable people that they had to pass through, but time changes everyone. And so it's up to you to do your due diligence and understand what shared equities are in cars, shared equity in car dealerships. It's perfectly legal. It's something you need to do to protect yourself. Whether you're using your money or the car dealership's money is irrelevant, but you need to have a stake in that car or in that car dealership. And so, like I said, I'm back to that subject with the gentleman down the road. They're just deadlocked, and they're both going to lose a small fortune because they cannot agree on an amicable split. And you have to agree to that. And most dealerships that I get involved in, I limit myself to a year or two relationship. Now that doesn't mean they all end in a year or two. I've got relationships that I've had for 5 or 6 years with dealers, and we still coach right on along. But I tell most people that I enter into a relationship that they'll probably enjoy my involvement maybe a year, maybe two, maybe forever, but I don't really count on forever. I don't look at long-term relationships. I live for the day. And so I don't really have a planned time that I'm definitely going to leave, but I have a planned agreement when I do leave at where what it takes to get me out of a dealership involvement. And so I pre-discuss those arrangements or financial terms, if there are any. I think that Randy is about to benefit Weird Beard a whole lot because he has so many people that trust him here on YouTube. And I know that it's very beneficial to my son's dealership and all the dealerships that I'm involved in because of my credibility on YouTube. I get a lot of people that contact me about buying services, how I can help them get started, and a lot of this leads right back to profit income for the dealership that I may refer them out to because I may have a stake in that dealership. So the exit strategies, there's just a lot of things that you want to consider when you enter a partnership, how you're going to get out of that partnership. Now the natural things that you want to talk about are what you're going to do with each other, your plans for each other, and how you want that to benefit you both tremendously. But time changes things, and plans, the best laid plans, fall through. And there's no one's fault. There's just a change of situations that cause these plans to fall through. It doesn't mean you got to get mad. It means that, hey, you're just going a different path, not the same path. I mean, I've had exit strategies that worked out great. I've got a friend that we had just a terrific business going, and it was time for me to leave. He didn't want us to separate at the time. He wanted a long-term relationship, and I was flattered by that. But I had told him when we got into it that I wanted an exit strategy. We both abided by the exit strategies. We're still great friends. He's gone his way, been very successful, and I like to think in my own right I have accomplished what I set out to do, to have a successful life, even as much as having successful businesses. So that's it. I wish you the best, but never overlook your exit strategies. It's very important when you're entering into a partnership agreement in any business, and even more so in the car dealer business. If you like the information of this channel, please subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you.